Black humor. Black humor, also known as dark comedy, involves making light of subject matter that is typically considered serious, taboo, or distressing. It often revolves around themes like death, disease, violence, and existential despair. The humor arises from the stark contrast between the dark subject matter and the comedic treatment. Black humor is used to confront uncomfortable realities in a way that challenges societal norms, often providing a cathartic release for both the creator and the audience. Satire. Satire is a form of humor that uses irony, exaggeration, and ridicule to criticize or expose the flaws, vices, or stupidity of individuals, societies, or institutions. The goal of satire is often to provoke thought or inspire change by pointing out the absurdity or hypocrisy in a particular subject. This form of humor can range from lighthearted and playful to sharp and biting, and it is often found in literature, television, film, and political commentary. Surreal humor. Surreal humor, also known as absurdist humor, relies on the bizarre, illogical, and nonsensical to create comedy. It often defies conventional logic, presenting situations or events that are outlandishly strange or dreamlike. This type of humor is meant to challenge perceptions of reality, often creating a sense of the uncanny or the ridiculous. Surreal humor can be found in works that blend fantasy and reality, making the familiar seem strange and the strange seem familiar. Green humor. Green humor focuses on environmental themes and issues, often using comedy to address topics like climate change, conservation, and sustainability. This type of humor may take a lighthearted approach to serious environmental concerns, using satire, parody, or wit to raise awareness and inspire action. Green humor can serve as a way to engage audiences in conversations about the environment in a manner that is accessible and entertaining, while also conveying important messages. Grotesque humor. Grotesque humor combines elements of the bizarre, the monstrous, and the absurd to create a sense of both amusement and discomfort. It often involves exaggerated depictions of the body, deformity, or the macabre, playing on the tension between what is traditionally considered horrifying and what is laughable. The grotesque can be unsettling, but it also provokes a reaction that blends horror and humor, challenging audiences to confront their own fears and taboos. Observational humor. Observational humor is based on the comedic observation of everyday life, drawing attention to the quirks, habits, and absurdities of human behavior. This form of humor resonates with audiences because it reflects common experiences and situations, often highlighting the funny side of mundane or relatable events. Observational humor relies on keen insight and timing, using familiar scenarios to create a shared sense of amusement. Insult comedy. Insult comedy involves humor that is derived from mocking, ridiculing, or insulting others, often in a sharp and direct manner. This form of comedy can be playful or aggressive, depending on the intent and context. Insult comedians often use this style to provoke reactions, push boundaries, or highlight the absurdity of social interactions. While it can be controversial, insult comedy can also serve as a form of social commentary or as a way to address uncomfortable truths through humor. No soap radio. No soap radio is a type of prank joke where the punchline is nonsensical or irrelevant to the setup, leaving the listener confused. The humor comes not from the joke itself, but from the reaction of the person who hears it, as they might feel pressured to laugh even though the joke makes no sense. It's often used in a group setting where some people are in on the joke and others are not, creating a social dynamic where the outsider is left puzzled. The phrase "no soap radio" itself is a classic example used in these types of jokes. Anti-humor. Anti-humor is a form of comedy that deliberately avoids traditional punchlines or comedic elements, often creating a joke that is unexpectedly mundane, awkward, or unfunny. The humor arises from subverting the audience's expectations of what a joke should be, leading to an uncomfortable or surprising reaction. Anti-humor can be seen as a critique of conventional comedy, emphasizing the absurdity or pointlessness of humor itself. It's a style that often appeals to those who appreciate irony and unconventional comedic approaches. Sarcasm. Sarcasm is a sharp, often biting form of humor where the speaker says the opposite of what they truly mean, usually to mock or convey contempt. The effectiveness of sarcasm depends on tone, context, and delivery, as the listener needs to understand that the speaker's words are not meant to be taken literally. Sarcasm is commonly used to express frustration, disdain, or criticism in a humorous way, often by exaggerating or downplaying a situation to an absurd degree. It can be playful or hurtful, depending on how it's used. Slapstick. Slapstick is a physical form of comedy that relies on exaggerated, often violent actions to provoke laughter. This can include pratfalls, collisions, and other forms of clumsy or over-the-top physical antics. Slapstick is a visual and straightforward form of humor, requiring little to no dialogue, which makes it universally accessible. The humor is often broad and cartoonish, appealing to audiences through its simplicity and the sheer ridiculousness of the actions being portrayed. Classic examples can be found in early silent films, where the physicality of the performers was key to the comedy. White humor. White humor refers to clean, inoffensive jokes that avoid controversial, explicit, or dark subject matter. It's typically lighthearted and suitable for all ages, making it popular in settings where inclusivity is important, such as family gatherings or mainstream entertainment. White humor often focuses on everyday situations, wordplay, or observational humor, steering clear of anything that might be considered rude or divisive. The appeal lies in its ability to amuse without alienating or offending anyone, maintaining a broad audience appeal. Dry humor. Dry humor, also known as deadpan humor, is characterized by a deliberate lack of emotion or expression, often delivered in a flat, understated manner. The contrast between the serious delivery and the absurdity or wit of the content creates the comedic effect. This type of humor often requires the audience to be attentive and perceptive, as the jokes are subtle and not immediately obvious. Dry humor is appreciated for its sophistication and can often come across as intellectual or sarcastic, making it a favorite in more refined or nuanced comedic circles. Please subscribe to channel for more videos.